The mood around Ibrox over the past few days has been a perfect reflection of what supporting Rangers is all about. An emotional roller coaster where frustration, belief, relief, and excitement all collide in the space of 1 week. Rangers sit 3 points off the top of the Scottish Premiership, and when you look at how quickly that gap has closed, it tells a story of momentum, pressure, and a squad that is slowly beginning to look like it understands what is required in a title race. Dropped points at the weekend felt like the end of the world for many supporters, especially after a performance that lacked sharpness and conviction. But football has a habit of flipping narratives very quickly, and that is exactly what happened when results elsewhere went our way and Rangers followed it up with a commanding victory over Kilmarnock by 5 goals to 1 at Ibrox. That scoreline tells one story, but the match itself told another, especially in the first half. There were uncomfortable similarities to the previous outing, moments where the tempo dropped, the passing lacked urgency, and the crowd grew restless because they could sense the team were not fully clicking. However, the second half was a completely different Rangers side, sharper, braver on the ball, and far more aggressive in their attacking movement. Even with Kilmarnock reduced to 10 men, Rangers still had to do the hard part, and what stood out was how much difference fresh legs and new faces made. It became a clear reminder of why strengthening the squad was not just a luxury, but a necessity, especially when games are coming thick and fast and pressure is at its highest. One of the biggest talking points was the performance at left back, a position that has caused debate and concern for a long time. The new arrival looked composed, confident, and comfortable from the very first whistle, offering balance to the back line and providing an outlet going forward without looking reckless. It might be early days, and nobody wants to get carried away after a single appearance, but it was hard not to feel that Rangers finally look like they have found a natural solution in that area of the pitch. The calmness in possession and the positional awareness were exactly what the team has been crying out for, and it allowed others around him to play with more freedom. Further up the pitch, there were plenty of moments that lifted the crowd and reignited belief. Seeing a new signing get off the mark always carries weight, especially at a club like Rangers where expectations are unforgiving and patience can be thin. There is a tendency among the support to judge players far too quickly, sometimes writing them off after one quiet performance. But this goal felt important beyond the scoreline. It was a moment of release, both for the player and for the fans, a reminder that confidence can change everything in football. Around that, there were flashes of creativity and bravery, including a cheeky backheel attempt that did not quite come off, but showed a willingness to try something different, something that can often be the difference in tight games. Then there is the excitement around youth and raw talent, and few players have captured attention quite like Mikey Moore. At just 18 years of age, he already plays with a swagger and confidence that suggests he belongs at this level. Every touch feels purposeful, every movement looks dangerous, and there is a sense that something can happen whenever the ball reaches his feet. The reality, of course, is that Rangers face an uphill battle to keep hold of a player so highly rated elsewhere, but that does not stop supporters from dreaming. The idea of him spending several seasons at Ibrox, developing, winning trophies, and growing into a complete footballer is a tantalizing one, even if deep down most know it may be unlikely. Looking ahead, the schedule does not offer much time to breathe. Matches are coming one after another, and every single one now carries huge significance. The Scottish Cup at the weekend is an opportunity to progress and build confidence, but nobody associated with Rangers will take anything for granted, because history has shown that nothing is ever straightforward. Beyond that, attention quickly turns to a massive league clash away at Fir Park, a fixture that could have serious implications in the title race. With around 13 league games remaining, the margin for error is razor thin, and Rangers know that maximum points must be the target if they want to maintain pressure at the top. Amid all of this, there was a moment after the Kilmarnock game that sparked plenty of debate among the support. The reaction from the head coach to the boos at halftime divided opinion instantly. Some fans felt uncomfortable with the criticism of the crowd, believing that standards must be upheld and that poor performances deserve to be called out. Others argued that the atmosphere in the second half showed how powerful unity can be when the team and supporters pull in the same direction. What cannot be denied is that the transformation since his arrival has been significant, taking Rangers from a position that looked bleak to within touching distance of the summit in a relatively short period of time. From the manager's perspective, the message was clear. He spoke about togetherness, about the importance of belief, and about remembering where the team was just 10 weeks ago. Coming from 14 points behind to just 3 is no small achievement, and it has been built on resilience, squad depth, and a growing sense of identity. He highlighted the strength of the bench, the impact of substitutes, and the importance of giving players confidence and minutes, especially during the latter stages of matches when legs tire and spaces open up. For him, it was never about personal praise, but about crediting the group for their response under pressure. That context matters when assessing the reaction to those comments, because Rangers are in the middle of a season where emotions are running high and every moment feels magnified. The debate over booing versus backing will always exist, but what is undeniable is that the team responded on the pitch with 5 goals and a dominant second-half display. As the focus shifts forward, attention also turns to new faces arriving at Ibrox, including a powerful striker who arrives hungry, ambitious, and eager to make his mark. His words about pride, excitement, and readiness to fight for every ball resonated with supporters who demand commitment above all else. And his physical profile suggests he could offer something different in the months ahead as Rangers push on across all competitions. The arrival of the new striker at Ibrox adds another intriguing layer to what is already shaping up to be a fascinating second half of the season for Rangers, because this is not just a signing made for numbers or depth. It feels like a statement of intent. From the very first words he spoke, there was a sense of pride in pulling on the blue jersey, an understanding of the weight that comes with representing this club, and a genuine hunger to get started immediately. Moving to Scotland marks a major step in his career, his first time leaving Germany, and yet there was no hint of hesitation, only excitement about the challenge, the atmosphere, and the expectation that comes with playing in front of a demanding fan base. What stands out is how clearly he spoke about his motivations for choosing Rangers. This was not a rushed decision or a late whim on deadline day, but something that had been building for weeks through conversations with family and careful consideration of where his career should go next. That sense of clarity matters, because players who arrive knowing exactly why they are here tend to adapt quicker and cope better with pressure. He made it clear that once the opportunity presented itself, there was no doubt in his mind. He wanted this move, and he wanted it now, not in some distant future. The influence of the head coach was also impossible to ignore. Having a manager who can communicate in his native language removes barriers instantly and helps accelerate adaptation, especially in a league as physical and intense as the Scottish Premiership. Beyond that, there was a clear footballing vision discussed, how he fits into the system, what is expected of him, and how his strengths can be maximized within the team structure. That level of detail suggests this was not a gamble, but a calculated addition, aimed at addressing specific needs within the squad as Rangers chase silverware. His career path so far has not been a straight line upwards, and that honesty is refreshing. He spoke openly about setbacks, injuries, and moments where he had to fight mentally to keep pushing forward. Those experiences often shape players in ways raw talent alone cannot, building resilience and appreciation for opportunities when they come around. Coming from a passionate club environment previously, even in lower divisions, means he understands the importance of supporters and the energy they bring, something that will only be amplified at Ibrox on European nights and during tight domestic battles. On the pitch, his profile offers Rangers something slightly different. A physical presence who can hold the ball up, bring others into play, and attack spaces with intelligent movement, all while carrying the responsibility of being judged primarily on goals. He did not shy away from that expectation, openly stating that scoring is his main job, but he also highlighted the work without the ball, the battles, and the effort that supporters expect to see. That combination of self-awareness and ambition is exactly what fans want to hear at this stage of the season. The timing of his arrival could be crucial. With fixtures piling up and margins becoming thinner by the week, having fresh energy and competition for places can lift standards across the squad. Rangers have already shown how important depth is, particularly in the latter stages of matches where substitutions have turned games on their head. The manager has repeatedly spoken about the strength of the bench, and adding another option up front only reinforces that message, especially as injuries and fatigue inevitably come into play. There is also a broader narrative developing around this Rangers side, one built on recovery and belief. 10 weeks ago, the picture looked very different, with a sizable gap at the top and questions swirling about direction and consistency. Since then, the points gap has been slashed, performances have improved, and there is a growing sense that this team knows how to respond when challenged. The journey from 14 points behind to just 3 is not just about results, but about mentality, and every new addition is now stepping into a group that believes it can achieve something special. Supporters, as always, remain a crucial part of that equation. The debate around reactions in the stands will continue, because passion runs deep and expectations are sky high. But there is no doubt that when Ibrox is united, it becomes one of the most intimidating places to play. New players quickly learn that backing can lift them to levels they did not know they had, while criticism can be equally intense if standards slip. Navigating that reality is part of becoming a Rangers player, and it will be fascinating to see how the latest arrival embraces it. As the season moves into its defining phase, every decision, every substitution, and every moment will be scrutinized. The Scottish Cup offers another route to success, while the league campaign demands relentless consistency. Away trips, tough pitches, and physical opponents lie ahead, and Rangers know there is no room for complacency. The aim is clear: keep winning, keep applying pressure, and stay within touching distance until the very end. What ties everything together is the feeling that Rangers are building something with momentum. New signings settling quickly, young talent exciting the crowd, experienced players stepping up when needed, and a manager who believes deeply in his group. The striker's final words about wanting to grow, adapt quickly, and lift trophies echoed that collective ambition. He spoke about fighting for wins, embracing the culture, and pushing forward together. And that mindset aligns perfectly with where Rangers find themselves right now, right in the thick of a title race where belief, unity, and timing could make all the difference. The message being pushed internally is consistency, not just winning, but winning in a way that can be repeated. Dominating second halves is encouraging, but starting matches with authority matters just as much. Control from the first whistle reduces anxiety, quietens opposition crowds, and prevents games from becoming emotional battles. Rangers have shown they can do it. The challenge now is doing it every time. With each passing fixture, the sense of urgency grows. There are no free passes left, no acceptable off days. Every player, whether a new signing, a young prospect, or a seasoned regular, is being judged on contribution. The title race is alive, the cup competitions are demanding attention, and the spotlight never fades. Rangers are deep in a phase of the season where character matters as much as quality, where responses define reputations, and where the smallest details can shape what the final weeks ultimately become. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. Whispers are swirling round Ibrox once again as the so-called Sterling curse refuses to lie down quietly. The defender's return to Rangers was meant to be a tale of redemption, a second chance wrapped in grit and determination. For a spell, it even looked like the script was finally changing. Sterling slotted back in as if he'd never been away, sharp in the tackle, composed on the ball, and clearly up for the fight. Yet just as the optimism began to spread through the stands, the familiar groan followed. The injury came without warning, or at least that's how it felt to those watching. 1 minute Sterling was striding forward with confidence. The next he was pulling up, frustration written all over his face. It was the sort of moment that feeds superstition in football, and among the Rangers' support the word maldicao is being muttered half in jest, half in genuine disbelief. How can a player look so right for the shirt, only to be sidelined again at the first sign of momentum? Behind the scenes, fingers are being pointed not at the player, but at the club's medical department. Supporters are asking whether enough has really changed since Sterling's last spell on the treatment table. Was he rushed back too soon? Were the warning signs ignored in the push for stability at the back? No official answers have been offered, but the silence only fuels the speculation. Sources close to the club insist there was no gamble taken, that all protocols were followed to the letter. Still, football is as much about perception as it is about process, and right now the perception among the faithful is uneasy. Sterling's body seems to betray him just when he starts to convince everyone else. For Rangers, the concern goes beyond one defender. It's about trust, planning, and whether the club can finally break a pattern that feels all too familiar. Until Sterling is back on the pitch and staying there, the rumors will keep circling, and the curse will remain part of the conversation around Ibrox. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.